Good afternoon, everybody. Dear student, today we are going to study same chapter, but the different topic, that is chemical bonding we will start. So, before that, I hope you have understood the last class where we have studied about the radical and what were the radical. So, radical were the atom or group of atom acting as single unit and having either positive charge or negative charge on them. Okay. So, there we have defined it, and how many types of they were? They were of two type on the basis of charge on them, that is positive radical and negative radical, as well as simple radical and compound radical we have discussed there. And similarly, we have discussed about the ions and about ions, what is cation and anion, how we will give the name for these radicals or the ions we have discussed yesterday, isn't it. So, now today as we are going to start a new topic about the chemical bonding, all these topic are directly or indirectly related to the electronic configuration. Okay. They are related to the electronic configuration. So, we begin from that, okay, from the electronic configuration. Again we are repeating it. So, we begin from there. So, please put the slide. So, if you see the electronic configuration of various element up to the element 20, we have seen here hydrogen electronic configuration is 1 in the KCl, like that we have already discussed all the things there. Okay. So, here if you see highlighted element, okay, in that table, if you see there helium, neon, argon, okay, having the electronic configuration duplet in case of helium, in which KCl is completely filled, okay, and neon having the octet electronic configuration as that of argon, also having what octet electronic configuration 2, 8 in case of neon, and in case of argon it is 2, 8 and 8. Okay. So, this is the electronic configuration of the inert gas. These gas are inert gas. Why? Because they do not take part in a chemical reaction. Then other than that, other element they try to get the stable electronic configuration. So, while going through the chemical bonding, this we have to understand that having stable electronic configuration and not having the electronic configuration, okay, that is the two things which influence whether the element undergoes a chemical reaction or not, or whether it will form a chemical bonding or not. It may be of different types. Okay. How they will combine with other element to make stable electronic configuration, that depend upon the electronic configuration itself. Okay. So, if they have stable electronic configuration, there is no need to go in chemical reaction because they are already stable. So, the main reason for element to undergo a chemical reaction or forming a compound or a molecule is that they do not have a stable electronic configuration, and there is a need to attain the stable electronic configuration. Okay. So, like lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, potassium and calcium, they will try to gain in some cases, share some cases, and lose electron to become stable. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Please next slide. So, here I have already explained you what is the cause for chemical reaction. So, please look at there. Inert gases contain the complete number of electron in their valence shell, outermost shell. So, they are stable and inactive but other atoms of different element have less than 8 electron in their valence shell, which we have seen in the table previously of electronic configuration. Okay. So, what happen? Those elements which have less than 8 electron, what they will do? They will try. So, they will try to be stable. So, their intention is to be stable. They try to get stable electronic configuration of nearest inert gas, thus undergo chemical reaction. So, what they will do? They will undergo the chemical reaction. Now, question comes, how they will achieve that stable electronic configuration? Okay. The question is, how they can achieve stable electronic configuration? So, the answer might be, atoms of element other than inert gas try to attain the stable electronic configuration by two ways. One is transfer of electron, another way is sharing of electron. Okay. They will try to share the electron in some cases, and in another cases they will transfer of electron. Transfer of electron means either gaining electron or losing electron. Is it clear? So, now please look at the here on the board. So, just now we have studied that how they will achieve the electronic configuration of stable other than inert gas, like lithium. Okay, we have discussed earlier also, again I am repeating, lithium atomic number is 3 and it have electronic configuration of 2 1. That means, 1 electron is there in outermost shell. Okay. Now, this became more than the duplet configuration. So, it will try to give out or lose that electron to have charge. So, last class we have studied that after giving it, it will attain a positive charge. Okay. Similarly, if you see another example of after lithium, beryllium, okay, 4, atomic number 4, 2, 2. Okay. So, in outermost shell it is having 2 electron, it will lose 2 electron to become stable. Okay. So, beryllium has plus 2 valency. Okay. Now, boron, if you see atomic number 5, 2, 3, and it tends to lose 3 electron to become stable to get octet electronic configuration, or sorry, duplet configuration, in this case nearest stable electronic configuration. So, what will happen in this case? They will try to achieve electronic configuration. So, here if they are not having the stable electronic configuration, they will undergo a chemical reaction. So, how easily they can donate or they can lose electron to other element to form a compound or a molecule, okay, is called chemical reactivity. Okay, what it is called? It is called chemical reactivity. Chemical reactivity, or you can say active, chemical active. So, sometime we will addition the term, here the term about the active, chemically active. Okay. So, I am trying to explain that what do you understand by chemical reactivity or active element. So, out of these 3 element, all they are having either 1, 2 and 3 in their valence electron, and they will lose the electron to the other element to gain the stable electronic configuration. So, they are metals, as I have discussed earlier also. Okay. So, they are metal, but how easily they will lose, how easily they can lose the electron, that depend upon the number of electron possessed by them as well as the number of cell in which they lie. Okay. Active means how fast they can lose and make a compound with other element. Okay. So, if you see the atomic structure of lithium, you will find here 2 cell, in the nucleus proton, here how many electron? 2 electron is there in the K cell, and in the L cell 1 electron in case of lithium. Okay. And in case of beryllium, okay, try to understand, here 2 and here 2 electron. So, here proton is also 4, here proton is how much? 3. Here proton 4 in case of beryllium. Okay. So, like that in case of boron, 2 electron in the K cell and 3 electron are there in the, in which cell? In L cell. Okay. Now, here plus 3, here plus 4 and here plus 5, that is respectively 3 proton, 4 proton and 5 proton is present in the nucleus of an atom. Okay. So, all they are metal because they have a tendency to lose the electron. So, this has only 1 electron to donate, it has 2 electron to donate, and it has 3 electron to donate or to give, okay, or to lose. So, it is not easy to donate 3 electron. Okay. Suppose if you have 3 rupees and one person has 3 rupees with him, another has 2 rupees and another has 1 rupees with him. Okay. And if they want to give money, who will easily give rupees to other? So, if you have only 1 rupees, it is chances that you have a tendency to give 1 rupees easily as compared to 3 rupees you have to give. Okay. So, like that, to lose 1 electron from the outermost cell is much easier as compared of losing 3 electron from the outermost cell. Okay. So, what happened? This boron as compared to lithium, okay, has difficulty to lose. Here it can lose easily. Lithium can lose electron easily as compared to boron. So, what you can say, lithium is more active because what happened? Plus 3 minus 3. So, electric charge, negative charge and positive charge attract each other, that is of the nucleus, it has a positive charge, it will attract the electron towards it, that is called nuclear charge, and nuclear charge is more here, nuclear charge is here less and it is more there because the number of proton is there more. So, nuclear charge is more, nuclear charge is less. So, what happened? The tendency to lose electron by this is more easy as compared to that of the boron. So, in this case this is active. What? It is not active, easily cannot donate, it can lose electron easily, that is why it is a active metal. So, we have to understand while doing the chemical reactivity, we will come through active reactivity, okay, which one is reactive, which one is passive to give electron easily. So, all they are metal, they have a capacity to lose, but which one will give easily than other, that will be called as a active metal. So, similarly, there are for in case of non-metal, okay, in case of non-metal means the tendency to gain the electron, okay, to gain the electron like carbon, after that chlorine, okay, suppose chlorine have a electron configuration is 2, 8, 7, it requires 1 electron, and if you take fluorine, okay, it has 2, how much, to 7. Okay, this is other case. So if you compare chlorine, sulfur 16, okay, 286 sulfur, it is sulfur. So in this case what happened, this chlorine and sulfur, both of them having 3 cell. In outermost cell it requires only 1 electron, whereas it requires 2 electron. So it is easier to gain 1 electron as compared to 2 electron, isn't it? So in this case of chlorine and sulfur having the valence electron 7 and 6 respectively, the tendency to gain 1 electron by the chlorine is much easier as compared to that of the sulfur. So chlorine active, it can react easily with other element as compared to sulfur, because it requires only 1 electron to become stable, whereas sulfur requires how many electron to become stable? It requires 2. Okay, so that's it about the active metal and active non-metal. So, but in this case, in case of chlorine and fluorine, both are having both are having 7 electron in their valence shell. So in particular group period they are the active non-metal. But if you compare this, out of this two, this has smaller atomic size, that is size is small, nuclear charge will be more, so they are more reactive. So that we will study in higher classes. If you see the class 10 class, you will understand that. Okay, so I will not go in deep in that because you have to learn in class 10 also. So I have just given a simple description about this. Okay, so let's see in the slide. Okay, same thing which I have explained there. So please put the slide. So just I have told about the active metal and active non-metal. So first we are studying about the active metal, which I have told. So because when you start chemical reaction or chemical bonding, we have to understand this. So active metal means, as we already know, that element having valence electron 1, 2 and 3 are metal, as they have a tendency to lose electron. So, okay, so out of these metals having valency 1, 2 and 3, out of which has one valence electron is more active, because they can gain they can lose 1 electron as easily as compared to losing 3 electron. Okay, so if you see these two boxes given there, lithium, beryllium and boron, okay, having 3, 4, 5 and electron configuration of 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Out of this, if you compare in last cell or the valence cell, lithium has only 1, it can lose 1 electron easily. Beryllium has 2, it has more nuclear charge, so tendency to lose electron is much difficult as compared to lithium. And in case of boron, losing 3 electron is much difficult as compared to other element. So lithium is more active metal, as it can lose its valence 1 electron easily as compared to for losing 2 and 3 by the beryllium and boron respectively. Okay, now look in other box there. Sodium, magnesium and aluminum is given. So sodium has to lose only 1 electron from its outermost shell. All the element they are having 3 cell. Okay, in case of sodium, it has to lose only 1 electron. Magnesium, it has to lose 2 electron to become stable, and aluminum have to lose 3 electron to become stable. So the tendency or chances of losing electron easily is of that of sodium. Okay, sodium can easily lose electron as compared to other element. That's why their sodium is more active metal. So lithium is written. So please correct it. Okay, have you corrected? Okay, lithium, instead of lithium there should be sodium. Okay, sodium is more active metal, as it can lose its valence electron easily. Okay, now next slide. So active non-metal. So now again, in case of active non-metal, as we already know that element having valence electron 5, 6, 7, 4 is also there. Okay, so here we are studying about the ionic bond first, so that's why I am focusing there. So valence electron 5, 6, 7 are non-metal. 4 is metalloid. Generally the valence electron 4 means metalloid. So 5, 6, 7 are non-metal, as they have a tendency to gain electron. So, how they will get octet? By gaining the electron. So, they are non-metal. So, already we have studied when they will be non-metal. Now, question comes about the active non-metal. Which one will be active non-metal? Okay. So, for regarding that, the one which have 7 electron in their valence shell, means requiring only 1 electron to become stable, okay, they are more active. So, if you see that table there, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine 2,5, 2,6 and 2,7 respectively, okay, electronic configuration. So, nitrogen requires 3 electron to become stable, okay. Oxygen requires 2 electron to become stable, okay. So, in that case, which one is more active? That one which has to gain less electron, that of fluorine. So, like that, for in case of phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine, chlorine is more active because it requires only 1 electron to become stable, whereas sulfur requires 2 and phosphorus requires 5. Okay. So, in this case, what we can say, in out of nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, fluorine is more active non-metal, whereas in case of phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine, chlorine is more active non-metal, as it can gain 1 electron easily as compared to other. Okay. Is it clear? Now, next slide. So, some question related to this active metal, why it is so, why it is not so, why some metal are active metals, why some metal are non-active metal, like that. So, first question is, argon is called inert gas. Okay. Why argon is called inert gas? In place of argon, other element may be there, other inert gases may be there. So, it is a hint to you. So, you can write in own way by understanding the concept. Okay. So, only the hint, argon is inert gas as it has stable electronic configuration of 2, 8 and 8 and does not take part in a chemical reaction. Okay. So, it is a it has stable electronic configuration and does not take part in a chemical reaction, that is why it is called a inert gas. Okay. Now, look at the second question. What is the question there? Okay, yes, that is sodium is highly reactive metal. So, I am saying that active metal means how easily they can lose the electron, that is active. Okay. So, atomic number of sodium is 11 and its electronic configuration is given as 2, 8 and 1, and it can easily lose 1 valence electron to be stable. That is why their valency is 1, and to lose electron 1 easily is easy. Okay, it is losing 1 electron easy. That is why among other element, other non-metal, other metal, they are active. Okay. Now, there is some comparative question when you compare two elements like sodium and aluminum. Third question there. So, when you compare sodium and aluminum, out of them which one is more active or reactive and why? Okay. The some answer you can exclude, you can think from that answer. Okay. You can make your, I have already told, and your own answer. The electronic configuration of sodium is 2, 8, 1 and that of aluminum is 2, 8, 3. Okay. Since sodium has only 1 electron in valence shell as compared to 3 of aluminum, okay, and losing 1 electron is easier than 3, okay, and the nuclear charge is also less in case of sodium as compared to that of the aluminum. So, it is easier to lose electron. Okay. So, that is sodium is more reactive. Now, in case of non-metal, chlorine is more reactive non-metal than nitrogen. Why? So, chlorine has 7 electron in its valence shell and requires only 1 electron to become stable, but aluminum has 5 electron and electron in its valence shell and require 3 more electron to become stable. So, it is easier to gain 1 electron than 3 by the electron than 3 by the aluminum. So, chlorine is more reactive as compared to the which one active non-metal, that is of nitrogen. Okay. Okay, now please look at the board. So, these things we have discussed, okay, about the why element undergoes a chemical reaction, why they form a compound, okay, why they form a compound, undergo chemical reaction, what is the cause, what is active metal, what is active non-metal, okay, that is the basic concept it is necessary in chemical bonding. So, now we will study about the chemical bond. Okay. So, what is chemical bond? So, just now we have discussed that except inert gas, all the other elements do not have a stable electronic configuration. So, they have to come close to each other, they have to give electron, gain electron, share electron to have a stable electronic configuration. And when two elements or two atoms come closer to each other, they have to be held together. Okay, they have to be held together. So, that force which brings these two atoms together and hold them as a single unit or a compound or a molecule, that force is called a chemical bonding. Okay. Since they do not have a stable electron configuration, they will try to come closer to each other with a force, and that force which will keep two elements together, held together, is called chemical bond. Okay. So, already we have discussed about the chemical bond, you have understood. Okay. We will see in the next topic about that chemical bond. So, chemical bond means a force, it is a force which holds two atoms together. Okay, it is not an exact definition, but to just to understand. So, two atoms or element together. Okay, so chemical bond are of two type. Okay, they are of two type. That one is ionic bond. So, as we have already discussed, by transferring of electron, how they can acquire the stable electronic configuration. Okay. So, ionic bond, and another is covalent bond, that is by sharing. Okay. If the bonding is formed between, the force is acting between two elements due to they are sharing the electron between each other, then that is called a covalent bond. Whereas, if the electrovalent bond is formed, that means there is the formation of ions between two elements having different charge on them, and they are not stable with each other, they will transfer electron with each other, one will give, another will take, giving and taking. Okay, that is there, and while there is formation of ion, that type of bond is called ionic bond. Okay, ionic bond. So, ionic bond is formed when one atom loses one atom or element loses the electron and other will gain, and they combine together with each other with a electrostatic force. Okay, with a force, that force is called chemical bond, and that is ionic bond. So, in case of ionic bond, there is transfer of electron, there is transfer of electron. Here in case of covalent, there is sharing of electron, and in case of ionic bond, metal and non-metal, what will be there? Metal and non-metal will be there. Okay, metal and non-metal. So, this bond is formed between metal, means one will lose, and another one which will gain, that is non-metal. But in case of covalent, there will be only non-metal and non-metal. So, both are non-metal elements are involved in covalent bonding. Okay. So, ionic bond carries the charge on them. What they will have? They will have charge on them. Okay. Example like sodium chloride. So, we will discuss tomorrow about it, about the ionic bond in detail. So, for today you have to understand this. So, ionic bond and covalent bond. So, in case of this, only non-metal and non-metal covalent bond, and they do not have any charge, no charge. So, because there is no transfer of electron, there is sharing, no positive, no negative. So, there is no charge in case of covalent bonding. Okay, and example is HCl, hydrogen chloride. Okay, here sodium is metal, chlorine is non-metal, metal plus non-metal, metal plus non-metal, that is ionic compound, and this is hydrogen, this is also non-metal gas. Okay, chlorine is also non-metal. So, this compound is formed due to covalent bond, sharing of the electron, do not have any charge, that is covalent bond. Okay, and here sodium chloride, it is formed due to the transfer of sodium will give, chlorine will take. Okay, so this is ionic bonds. So, at last let us see the slide, last slide please. So, look at there. So, chemical bond. So, write the definition. Okay, you can pause the video and you can write the definition too. The force of attraction by which atoms or group of atoms are combined together to form a stable chemical molecule or a compound is called chemical bond. Okay, and its type are ionic bond, which is also known as electrovalent bond, and another type is covalent bond. Ionic bond is formed by transfer of electron, that is by gaining or losing, and it involves two atoms in which one of them is metal and another them is non-metal, and its example is NaCl. And another one is covalent bond, bond formed by sharing of electron, that is formed by combining two non-metal, an example is hydrochloride, and ionic bond is possesses charge, involve charge, cation anion, but in covalent bond there is no charge. Okay, so this is the complete topic for today. So, tomorrow we will discuss about the ionic bond and how ionic compound are formed, like that of sodium chloride and magnesium chloride. Similarly, we will discuss about the formation of covalent compound in the next class. So, whatever we have studied today, go through it. Okay, it is difficult to understand at the beginning, try to understand. So, tomorrow we will start from ionic compound. Okay, for today this much. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.